NASCAR just wrapped up its race at the Coca-Cola 600. Some controversy with the way that they ended the race, not wanting to race into the early morning hours, calling it short, and the double failure thanks to the weather.
One car is up and over, barrel rolling down the back straightaway.
Clear.
And Larson's in the wall. I beat your favorite driver.
And who would that be?
All of them. Goes to Kyle Busch. That's right. Contact between Chastain. Oh, they're in the wall. Chastain and Larson are in the wall.
All the buddies know, and he's always right.
Green flag.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Thanks for being with us. We're talking all things Coca-Cola 600, and we're going to talk a little bit about that Indianapolis 500, which was probably the highlight of what is supposed to be one of the greatest weekends in motorsports, the greatest spectacle in racing for the Indianapolis 500, shortened due to, well, stopped due to rain. Then the Coca-Cola 600, one of NASCAR's prime, I would say one of their top 3 races of the year, shortened due to rain and fans not happy about it. NASCAR claims that humidity affected the way they were able to drive the track. We'll talk about all that and more, but let's start with this. It looked clear to all of us that this weekend was going to be one of the best weekends ever, potentially history-making for both NASCAR and IndyCar, with Kyle Larson attempting the double-double, running the Indianapolis 500 and then running the Coca-Cola 600 and getting there. It was already going to be close, right? The Indianapolis 500 is scheduled to end at 4 p.m. Then he would have to get the Coca-Cola 600, which was scheduled to start around 6:30. Well, Indy gets a lot of rain around noontime, and the race doesn't start until 4 p.m. So Kyle Larson, stuck at the Indianapolis 500, his team and Hendrick Motorsports decides, we're going to race the Indianapolis 500 and we're going to neglect the Coca-Cola 600. We'll get to that in a minute. And that's how it all ends. And so at the end of the day, with NASCAR's decision to not run the Coca-Cola 600, Kyle Larson does not get the chance to run the double. And he would never have gotten a chance to run the full double, but he doesn't get the chance to run the double at all. Obviously, a major blow to both NASCAR and IndyCar and all the hype that was around this weekend, but more of a blow to NASCAR because Kyle Larson said, I'm racing the Indy 500. Obviously a bigger race than the Coca-Cola 600. I mean, it's the greatest spectacle in racing. And he says, I'm racing the Indianapolis 500. Larson says, I can't afford not to. There's been so much work that's been put into this. The team has put so much work into this. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm racing. Which, by the way, if you don't race every single NASCAR Cup Series event, you are technically disqualified from the playoffs. Now, NASCAR has the right to issue you a waiver. I don't think anyone out there should be upset by the fact that they will issue a waiver to Kyle Larson. This was a big promotion for NASCAR. They got a lot out of this. They will get more out of this in the future. And so for Kyle Larson, this was a major opportunity. For NASCAR, this is also a big opportunity, and you got to support your drivers in other endeavors. And you got to keep the rule. I've heard some people say that that's a stupid rule. There's ways to get around the rule. You maybe say you can miss a race. You can miss one race, right? Because people get sick, people get injured, drivers have problems that happen, and NASCAR has a tough job when it comes to enforcing that rule. I think it can be something good, but right now it's just not. Right now it's not a good rule. It can impact people like that. But no matter what, Kyle Larson deserves a waiver. My argument to the waiver and why it shouldn't be, I mean, it does prove how much NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports, the fact that Hendrick didn't even think twice. We're running Indianapolis 500. We're not even worrying about the NASCAR Cup Series this weekend. That kind of shows you, where they stand, where they think that they need to be, and their allegiances towards NASCAR and the Cup Series. All right, besides the point. All in all, though, this weekend was blah. It stunk. Sitting through rain delays after rain delay after rain delay, and then seeing no complete 600, Indianapolis 500 that at the end I was back and forth between the two channels. It was disappointing. All in all, it was just a disappointing day. We wanted to see some incredible racing, and we saw a really great finish to the Indy 500. But we wanted to see some incredible day of racing and incredible moments, and we really didn't get that. It's unfortunate that weather gets in the way, and it's really unfortunate for Kyle Larson. You got to feel bad for him. He was going for it. He thought he had it. His car was very good, and at the end of the day, he gets shut down. So it's disappointing, and I think that 5 car could have went to victory lane. All in all, it was still a good Indy 500. And the Coke 600, let's get into this controversy. NASCAR, it rains, it stops raining, they begin drying the track. All right, we're going back racing. They claim that it was too humid after an hour of trying to dry the track. It's too humid, it's gonna be too late. We would end up finishing this race around 3 a.m. So I've heard some people say, okay, we can't race at 3 a.m., right? 3 a.m. is not the way we should be doing this. Whatever. It's a holiday weekend. Most of America isn't working on Monday. Most drivers are not working on Monday. They all live in near Charlotte, so the race track isn't far away. There's not like there's going to be major travel constraints. The track was dry by 1 a.m. without Air Titans, so just imagine how dry it would have been with the Air Titans. I think NASCAR had every right to say, let's run this race. And I think the fans would have stayed. There was a lot of racing left. If it ended at 3, it ended at 3. I think part of the problem that we're not understanding is I think the TV networks weren't staying on air till 3 a.m. They couldn't stay on air till 3 a.m. But a streaming service could stay on air till 3 a.m. and Amazon Prime has that next year. So there's positives with maybe the fact that we'll be able to run. And again, we don't know what local laws are. We don't know what the constraints are to NASCAR, if they can even have an event at this size go past a certain time. But you're a major motorsport. This is your crown jewel race. I feel like you get it in at any cost that you can. So I disagree with the decision, but we'll see what it is. We'll see how it all ends up. We'll see how it all finishes. Let's look at the finishing results, because the guy we haven't talked about yet is Christopher Bell, and we haven't talked about him a lot all season long. It's because he's having just an up and down year, but right now he's trying to rebound, and he did an all right job today, right? He ran up front, he had a fast car. I don't think he's going to win the race if we went the full distance, but he ends up getting a rain-shortened race without rain. So congratulations to him, his second win on the season. That's big for the team. All right, then we have Brad Keselowski, who had a fast car, potentially the winning car of this race, if you ask me. If he finishes second, William Byron made an incredible move, 3 wide onto the grass, finishes third today. Tyler Reddick in fourth. Denny Hamlin battled back from penalty to fifth. Ty Gibbs in sixth place today. He started on pole, finished sixth. Kid's looking good. I think he's going to win a race this year. Chase Elliott in seventh. Ross Chastain in eighth. Alex Bowman in ninth. Josh Berry with another solid finish, with all the uncertainty around SHR and Stewart Haas Racing being in 10th is big. Bubba Wallace in 11th. Martin Truex in 12th. Justin Allgaier, who was going to be replaced by Kyle Larson at 13th place, ends up putting together a solid day for that 5 team. No points, I don't believe, but a solid day. Something good. Something to hang your hat on. I think Kyle Larson was going to win the race. I know I said Keselowski could have been the winning car, but if Larson gets in that 5, he's winning that race at the end. So interesting. We'll see what happens. Joey Logano in 14th. Kyle Busch, pit crew disaster today, ends up finishing 15th. That was an awful pit crew today. Awful effort, awful pit crew, and things need to change there. Hit the gas or hit the brakes. Let's talk about, let's talk about how everything went on, right? When it comes to the finish of this race, it was obviously rain shortened, but when it comes to the action on the actual track, it was pretty solid. There was moves, there was action, there was things like that. But with the rain shortened, I drew a draw to this race where I'm not hitting gas or hitting the brakes. I'm putting it as a C, right down the middle. I mean, there was action, there was excitement, there was all of that. But there was also moments of this race that could have been better, and we didn't get to see the finish. We want to see the finish, and we didn't get to see the finish. So that's obviously tough. All right, thanks for watching so much. We'll see you next week. I believe we're in Sonoma next week. Let me check. I think it's Sonoma next week, and then Gateway. Could be wrong, so that's why we check. Next week. No, next week is Gateway. All right, I'm looking forward to Gateway. Kyle Busch has a chance to win Gateway. I like Gateway, nice track. Then it's Sonoma, and then we're on to NBC's portion of the season. And by the way, if you're not excited for Lee Diffie to be calling NBC NASCAR races, get excited, because that Indy 500, if you ever went from the Indy 500 broadcast to the NASCAR broadcast, to the IndyCar to NASCAR broadcast. Indy did NASCAR. It was like night and day when you were flipping back from channel to channel. Lee Diffie, that crew, exciting. Putting the moment that it was on TV, making it something spectacular. Then you go to Coke 600 and it sounds like a Sunday afternoon drive with the windows down. I mean, night and day, spectacle, and just a charming ride. It's just not, I want the spectacle of NASCAR, and I hope Lee Diffie can bring that to us when he gets NBC's coverage, and I think he will. So I'm excited for that. I wasn't excited, but now I'm excited. So that's that. All right, I'll see you Monday. Peace out.